Hello, everybody. Hello again. Um, I'm here to continue off reading Dr. Hasan Johnson's Black Male Political Agenda, his 15 point plan. And sidebar, I just literally just realized I have been coughing into the mic the whole time. I tried to put my finger over the I guess the part of the mic where the voice goes in, and that doesn't help at all because this is why you should re-listen to your videos. Um, so with that being said, I do humbly apologize to everybody that was listening and listening to me cough the entire time. So with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and I just want to go ahead and put that out there. And really, again, you guys don't have to listen to me read this off. Honestly, most importantly, this is for me to finally read. Um, I know I stated I went back over and in the first part I said I read it. I don't know why I said that. I didn't read it. I'm reading it now. And most importantly, this is for me, so I know. And there's a lot of stuff that I have to read in there, but I'm just reading this, putting this on. Most importantly for myself for the time being. But I mean, if anybody is split, so I linked the I put the link to the article in the description, so you guys can go ahead and go over to Dr. Kenson Johnson's site yourself and read it and click through all of the articles and research documents associated with uh, this 15 point agenda for black men by black men. And again, the contributors are BGS Ibmore, Adam Ibmore, David Williams, Stuart D. Knight, Tristan J. Brian Nim, Chief of the South, Dennis Sperling, and Charles Faulkner. I think I'm gonna do that every show. So I'm gonna look at those. BGS. Spice Green Gorilla, isn't there? Boy, David Williams. Not David Williams, but Guru. Right, Guru. Um, but let me go up to number 7, so we can go ahead and start off there. All right. So here we go. With number 7. And this is intimate partner violence, homicide policy reform. Despite stereotypes that intimate partner violence, homicide aggression is the sole purview of black males, it is nigh equal bidirectional in the black community, meaning men assault women to the same degree women assault men. And the numbers of interracial interpartner violence, IPV, homicide against the 40 million plus black population is negligible. With data suggesting that women across race initiate violence first while opting to use weapons more often than men. And these are the statistics of interpartner violence in the black community. You guys can go ahead and read and look over. There's some also other stats of deaths. But I believe some of that is also covered there. So again, you guys can go ahead and read through that. Abolishing the Duluth model. The Duluth model is the most common batterer intervention program used in the United States. Critics argue that the method can be ineffective as it was developed without minority communities in mind and can fail to address root psychological or emotional causes of abuse. In addition to completely neglecting male victims and female perpetrators of abuse. And there's a Wikipedia link to that. Looking at, and that goes over the loose model. Mm, and that women are victims who are violent only in self-defense. Interesting. So we can go ahead and read through that. More than ignoring male victims, the Duluth model proposed that men were de facto guilty of being the primary abusers of women whenever a woman experienced some form of intimate partner violence. It ignored humans' greater capacity to initiate violence and or be aggressors of interpartner violence. IPV, interpartner violence, carceral practice. I know what we about to do, ladies and gentlemen. About to go figure out how to pronounce that word. Oh, come on. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Carceral, carceral. All right, that's how it's pronounced, carceral. That's what it sounds like. In the Webster's Dictionary, Merriam, carceral is defined as of relating to or suggesting a jail or prison. All right. Black men incarcerated for IPV require massive reevaluation of their status in relation to their victimization at the hands of women. Women, as rates of bidirectional abuse in the black community suggest equal violence initiated by women to men and from men to women. And sorry, um, I'm gonna read that again. As rates of bidirectional abuse in the black community suggests equal violence initiated by women to men and from men to women, and the hyposentencing of women for the same crimes to men up to 63%. The underrepresentation of female aggressors suggests a massive bias in sentencing and disproportionately targets and criminalizes men, especially when you take into account the rates of violence towards men and black men in particular, according to a meta study of IPV data going back to the 1980s. See below. So yeah, that's another hyperlink. Yeah, man, we already know that, and we know that. Again, you guys can go ahead and read through that. Really read through the research. It's really a short argument. I mean, a short article. But and this is by the Huffington Post. Man, what are all these goddamn ads? Really, Huffington? All right. And here are some stats. Truth about intimate partner violence, bi-directional, perpetrated by women, perpetrated by men, our relationships, violent. So 16% are violent. It says 28% are perpetrated by women, while 14% are perpetrated by men. Uh, with unidirectional interpartner violence, and then violent relationships. 58% of them are bidirectional, meaning both women and men participate, whereas 42% is unidirectional. You guys can sit through that. You guys can understand that at your will. Same here. with the rates of bidirectional versus unidirectional intimate partner violence across samples, sexual orientations, and race ethnicities. A comprehensive review. Uh, this was done in 2012. So for Black people, that's the highlighted portion of that. So y'all can go ahead and look at that, review that, if need be. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on. For C, sexual assault, rape, acknowledgement. This includes legally recognizing and the withholding of sex as a form of sexual abuse in marriage. That said, such an acknowledgement might allow for less punitive access to annulments and divorce options. Also requires that all rape allegations require traditional standards of adequate evidence prior to arrest and sentencing. Number 8, um, health. This is about men's health. Targeted treatment and recognition of for heart disease, cancer, suicide, and HIV campaigning. For A, heart disease. This is the number one killer of African Americans, but Black male deaths exceed Black women's, suggesting that Black males require more targeted research and treatment. Um, Let me see if I can blow this up. It blown up. Oh, cool. Um, Now, as the years from 1999 to 2011, it has gone down for men across the board, along with women. But as y'all can see, for Black men, it started out the highest for all cancers combined, uh, death rates. Goodness, and it's still the highest. Same for Black women. Now, African American men are more likely to develop prostate cancer compared with Caucasian men, and nearly 2.5 times as likely to die from the disease. Seen above, cancer rates are even much higher in Black men than in women. Although scientists do not yet understand why prostate cancer and incidence and death rates are higher among African American men, it is widely believed that it is a combination of genetic differences, lifestyle, nutritional habits, and medical care may all play a role in the statistics. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for both men and women. More than half of the deaths due to heart disease in 2009 were men. See how good. There's a chart for men's health, and then here's another chart as leading top 10 leading causes of death in the United States from 1999 to 2020 for Black males, and that was right. That's what this was. So this top one right here is for Black females, and they also put it down for Black males. But we're gonna go ahead and read this one. Hopefully, this one is blown up also. Yes, it is. Um, so this is the top 10 for the sent for from 1999 to 2020. Um, what's interesting though, from 1 to 14, what the hell is in unintentional injury? Like accident stuff like accidentally shooting themselves. What's striking for me though is fucking homicide. Is 2, 3, and then 2 from 1 to fucking 14. And then from 15 to 34, it's just straight homicide. And then suicide is number 3, suicide is number 4, 15 to 34. That's ridiculous. You notice how homicide is. Damn. Only time homicide ain't on the list is from younger than 1 and 55 to 65 plus. Shit, mercy, bro. But that's it. Always top three from 1 to 44 in black men. Homicide. Yeah, damn. And then suicide just creeping up there like the fucking boogeyman. And whatever the fuck unintentional injury is, those are from goddamn, oh, one all the way up. One all the way goddamn on up to 64 is unintentional injury. And then for whatever reason, all this other stuff just pops up. Heart disease has always been consistent. I mean, in the later stages of life, 35 and up. And then the neoplasms is there from 45 and up. And then Saprizo just kind of creeps up slowly, right? Ridiculous. That's crazy. All right, so there's that. B, cancer. Black men are diagnosed with cancer at slightly less rates than white men and white women, but die from it far more than white men, white women, and black women, especially in Arkansas, Alabama, Connecticut, D.C. I think that's Washington, D.C. Georgia, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, South Carolina, Tennessee, and most especially in Wisconsin. Weird. The scales for measuring black male cancer is 3 times larger per 100K. Goodness. All right. Um, it was shocking for me to learn that African American men have the highest death rate and shortest survival of any racial and ethnic group in the U.S. for most cancers, and that prostate cancer is the number one diagnosed cancer among veterans. Chris Tucker. 1 out of 8 U.S. men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. In 2022, nearly 269,000 men will be diagnosed with this form of cancer, and over 34,000 will die as a result. Prostate cancer is the second most prevalent form of cancer in men. A man is more likely to develop prostate cancer than he is to develop colon, kidney, melanoma, and stomach cancers combined. While prostate cancer deaths have been reduced by more than 50% in the last 2 decades, the reality is still far worse for American men. That's crazy. That's crazy. Um, African American men are about 75% more likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer than Caucasian men, 3 more than twice as likely to die from the disease. Prostate cancer, additional facts for African American men and their families. God, you guys can go ahead and click on that. C, suicide. Black male suicide has been dramatically increasing as of late. There needs to be a targeted treatment in regard to addressing this in both boys and men. The study published Monday in the journal JAMA found that teenagers attempting suicide increased 22% over the course of nearly 3 decades, but the trend varied depending on sex and race. Black males had the highest increase in suicide attempts compared to any other race in the group. For example, increasing nearly 80%. This is by Kelsey Sandoval. Suicide attempts are rising among young black men. Experts say they face a perfect storm of hardships. This is from Insider.com. Rise of black males attempting suicide. Um, Facts about boys and suicide. Self-reported suicides attempts for black adolescents rose by 73% between 1991 and 2017. Black boys increasingly likely to attempt suicide than black girls who have more ideation than black girls who have more ideation than attempts.
Um, Black boys are engaged in more lethal means than attempting when attempting suicide than black girls, which has increased by 122% between 1997 and 2017. Black boys are twice as likely to die by suicide than white youth. Sheesh. Facts about black men and suicide. In 2014, 80% of suicide deaths in the black community were men. Um, in 2014, 80% of suicide deaths in the black community were men. Huh. All right. Recent research has observed that Caribbean black men in the U.S. have the highest attempt rate for the African American community. Huh. Firearms were the predominant method of suicide among African Americans regardless of age or sex or age suicides. Suffocation was the second most prevalent method. Black men don't often recognize depression or trauma as an issue, therefore don't associate. Can you see me? Yeah, that popped off. My mic turned off. Sorry. Um, Men don't often recognize depression or trauma as an issue, therefore don't associate SI as a problem. Okay. There's another article on that. Okay. 80 fucking percent. Um, I also see African American suicide fact sheet based on 2014 data. By I guess that was done in 2016. I think. In 2014, 2,421 African Americans died by suicide in the U.S. Of these, 1,946 were male. The overall suicide rate per 1,000 was 5.6. In 2014, there were 475 African American female suicides in the U.S. The suicide rate for African American it was the lowest among men and women of all ethnicities. In 2015, researchers released data showing that there were more suicides among African American children ages 5 to 11 than among Caucasian children. Caucasian. This was the first national study to observe higher suicide rates for African Americans um, than for Caucasians in any group. While the majority of studies show African American men are more likely to die by suicide, while African American women are more likely to attempt suicide. Recent research has observed that Caribbean black men in the U.S. have the highest attempt for the African American community. All right. Suicide rate for African Americans ages 10 to 19 was 3.11 per 100,000. For African American youth ages 10 to 19, the rate of male suicides 4.6 per thousand was 2. pretty much 3 times higher than 2.9 times higher than that of females, 1.57. Males accounted for 81.5% of suicides completed by elderly African Americans aged 65 plus. This percentage is mirrored by the suicides completed by elderly Caucasian men. Firearms were the predominant method of suicide among African Americans, regardless of sex or age, accounting for 47% of all suicides. Between 1991 and 2017, suicide rates increased by 73% for Black youth, and injury by attempt increased 122% for adolescent Black males. Um, and this was done by Abby Bradley, Natalie Chavez, and Morgan Pate. Gender differences in Black youth suicide, and the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, summer of 2021. Um, suffocation was the first. Suffocation was the second most prevalent method by 29.9%. And this is another document for the data on that one. Um, Apologies for the choppy reading here. Um, that kind of threw me off. Um, 80 fucking percent. Holy shit. HIV, D. That's D. HIV. Black men, gay men, to be specific, are the most vulnerable group when it comes to HIV infection and mortality. Again, targeted support is needed to stem the high rates of mortality for Black males. Although they represent only 12% of the population, Black men account for much larger share of HIV diagnosis by 43%. People estimated to be living with HIV disease 42%, and deaths among people with HIV 44% than any other racial ethnic group in the U.S. Let me go ahead and click on that. Um, this is a chart. Um, Showing that it's actually a what do you call it? It's a whole article. Such changes are needed to address the alarming shift in life expect, uh, expectancy Black males have been facing since 2020. Here's a nice little chart. Let's see if we can open that up somewhere. Black men, white men, Black women, white women. Grandpa did die young. I think Grandpa died. I think Grandpa died in his 50s. I don't think Grandpa made it to 60. Yeah, he was probably young at 60. I don't think he was 66. That wasn't that old. No, now I gotta ask. Oh, wait, because dad got like 20. Grandma got like 20 on dad. Dad got like 20 on me. No. All right. Interesting how that jumped high. Though. It actually peaked in 2014 for everybody, but then started to decline. But damn, it declined the largest by black men. Shit declined by damn near fucking six. And then four for black women, six for black men, roughly. Like three, and then two. Um, all right, so there we go. That's number 8. Um, for health. Go ahead and end this one. I went further than I thought I would. I'm gonna come again with the remainder of them. I mean, I'll probably do like 2 more videos, but yeah, that was it. I see y'all in the next video.